Yeah.
So it's a straight up approve the appeal.
I think the staff report.
It says it right here.
Decision.
Okay,
Modified.
we're good then. Do we have the sign up sheet?
I think they're continuing to sign. I'll go grab it in a second. Carrie, what was your question?
They were right. It's in the staff report on the decision, alternative.
Okay, so it's just a modification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning. It is 9:01 a.m. on this Friday, March 12th, 2021, and time for today's Board of County Commissioners hearing regarding the request for an appeal by John Carpenter of the Canyon County DSC Director's decision regarding the April 17th, 2020 conditioned approval for a home business, case number AD 2020-0029 APL. Excuse me. There's people online.
Well, it's just live stream, so no.
This hearing is being conducted both in person and using WebEx. We do not currently have anyone on WebEx, but they will be muted. The staff report and any additional exhibits have been posted on the county website on the land use hearings page. You may wish to open those documents if you haven't done so already. I am the chairman. I will maintain order by restricting inappropriate discussion or disorderly conduct. I will take a short time to explain to you the procedures we must follow under the Canyon County Code of Ordinances 070503. If you want to testify, please indicate by selecting the raise hand icon at the bottom left corner of the participant box in WebEx. The applicant who requested the hearing or their representative will testify first. Since the applicant has the burden of proof, testimony will then be given from those in favor of the applicant, followed by the witnesses who have signed to testify as neutral, and then those in opposition. The person making the request or the representative will be allowed 10 minutes for their presentation. If a spokesperson for the opposition has been designated, they will be also given 10 minutes. All other individuals will be given 3 minutes of non-repetitive testimony, 5 minutes to rebuttal if necessary by the applicant. If you refer to an exhibit or computer projection, please use specific verbal descriptions such as exhibit number, location, or direction so that the transcript can be made for review if necessary. At this time, I'm going to have, did I say who is in attendance? I missed that earlier too. I did? No, I didn't? Okay, so I am Commissioner Smith. Also in attendance with me is Commissioner White and Commissioner Van. Monica Reeves is our Deputy Clerk and Recording Secretary today. From Development Services staff, I have Julianne Shaw, our planner, and then the Development Services Director, Tricia Nelson. We still do not have anyone online for this case, and then signed up in opposition is James Jolly, who will be testifying. And before we move on, I do have a question. Since the applicant has the burden of presenting and they're not here, what does that mean? Anything?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I guess it's a pretty rare event. For the record, Tricia Nelson, DSC Director. I guess it's the board's prerogative if you want to consult with the prosecutor's office. I don't think we've ever not had an applicant show up.
Not show up?
And this was continued at their request. Yeah. So,
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Van Beek.
I do have a question on the conditions of the director's approval of the home business. Can we call that?
Well, I think before we even get there, the applicant didn't show up, and it's his, per Idaho code, it's his responsibility to be here to make their case. And so I don't even think that matters if he's not here, because it's, right? So let's take a moment, we'll call.
I've seen it go either way.
Okay. Let's take a moment.
A short recess.
And, yeah, we'll take a short recess.
Can I just say something real quick? We have come to an agreement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're just going to check on this.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to waste an hour.
Right.
Beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Because we've come to an agreement. Our lawyers are
Yeah, we're
You know,
good.
we're going with the new road,
Yeah.
put it to bed,
Yeah.
broke, you know, all the restrictions that were on the last time. I mean, I think Julianne's got it all.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Jolly.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We might need to say something on the record.
Yeah.
I can lead some breathing.
Yeah.
What a good idea.
Oh, I do have a question for you that doesn't have anything to do with this hearing, so I can ask that question. Do you know that Carrie Underwood advertisement, her Kalia, her clothing line, have you seen that on TV?
Yeah.
Is that yoga, what she's doing? Or is that a mix?
I haven't seen, you know,
The ad?
what you're speaking of specifically.
Okay, she's advertising her
The clothing,
the yoga clothing.
I know some of it.
Okay,
I don't wear it for what I do.
okay.
I wear it for biking and hiking and things like that.
Okay, she just does different things. She's, you know, those they look like ladders on kids' playgrounds, and they just
Right.
hand over hand.
Yeah.
She has some different moves. She's hanging on one of those, and she has some different stuff, and she does a plank at the end, and I mean, it's just very appealing. But I've always wondered if that is yoga or is that more just strength training, or are they both kind of one and the same?
Kind of strength training,
Yeah, strength.
Okay. Are they kind of one and the same?
Yeah.
Well, you know, by definition, I mean, yoga is just a movement with breath.
Oh, okay.
My particular type of class is pretty intense.
Okay.
Spiritual.
Okay. Yeah, what did you say?
It's spiritual.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He has no clue. He doesn't even come.
that's how he's,
No idea.
it says yin and his yang and with what's going on in the home.
He needs more yang. That's for sure. He could use it.
So your description and all this, I'm counting that as my daily workout. I was following along
I once heard that if you think about it,
Yeah.
your brain thinks you're doing it. Well, that works for me.
You don't know the sore muscles after that. No, Emily, you and I'll have to go to the class. Have you never done one?
I've never done a yoga
I've
class.
done it.
I said,
So you do
train tracks.
Yeah, I have to go. I'd have to go back to the office. No, that's the place we went.
I've seen it both ways, where they just let this resolution. I've seen it both ways.
For what?
I've seen it, they can do it there. And then they stress it.
Can't reach anybody upstairs.
Oh, really?
I think Carrie's checking the ordinance.
I have a phone.
Just go to Jen's phone, get called to Tom, not in this room.
Yeah. Want to give me the number, Julianne? I'll try to run it.
Remember Julian, do you have something to raise your hand? No? Oh, 899-0688. Say that again, 899. Okay, I'll look at her then. 899-0688.
You got it.
Yeah, she said she does.
maybe you're on your way? Okay, well, yeah, I'll present that to the board. Want to take it, they want to call it. Okay. And just the email thread as we go to the, okay. Doing the WebEx. But you're close. Okay, cool. All right, we'll wait. Okay, thanks. But that's okay, we'll see you.
I thought it was 9:30.
I heard.
Right?
You, sir, are, I saw that smile.
I'm good.
Iced coffee.
But, I know. What's the option?
Ambulance airplane this morning.
Huh?
At 7:30, I was at Ada County DMV to get my star card. I had all my paperwork. There's a slight discrepancy when they talk about your marriage license. One of them says original or certified, and the one says certified or something else, or official or something. So I go with my original marriage certificate from 34 years ago.
Not right.
No, it was the one that was handed to me by the minister.
And it's the one in your wedding book that has a picture with the book.
Probably, yeah, it's the only one we have, you know. After the wedding, then they take it and they get it, they record it, you know. And so, anyway, so they got turned away. The guy was nice, and I understood. I was, well, yeah, you get a little frustrated. And she goes, well, so how was your experience? And I said, no, I work for Canyon County, and I used to work for Ada County. I'm never going to complain. She laughed so hard. I said, it is what it is. So I figured out how to contact the county in Virginia, request a certified copy. You know, we have till October, thankfully. So. Isn't that funny, though?
Yeah, it's bizarre. Let's make it as, but I guess,
It's good enough for my Social Security card. But
I guess
still,
this is a, but when,
I am who I am, even though I have all this other stuff.
but Tricia, when you think about why we're going through all of this, so that, you know, there's all,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess,
It's good enough for a passport, and it's just not the certified marriage certificate. So anyway.
So they're happy to take your money.
That's
With your
okay.
name on it.
It's all by however the federal law was passed, I guess. So,
they're making it really difficult because that's passing for
yeah.
the security thing, and yeah. If I don't have to take off my shoes on that filthy floor, okay, I'll get an original.
I get something. I've heard so many stories. And here I thought, oh, I have everything. It's original. It's, no, but it didn't have the special stamp or whatever. You know, like a recorder.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
When is the next declaration meeting?
A week from today.
Okay. I didn't look at that part of the calendar people are asking.
Where was he on that?
It's not scheduled. It's not?
Someone's bring coffee.
It's not what? It's not
Yeah.
scheduled.
He stopped the hearing at 9:30. It's not scheduled?
Oh,
Not yet.
oh, okay. And it's not a
9:30 and 10, so.
Yeah, or 10:30.
Yeah.
We have to make that decision.
You could have 10
I don't know. Probably should talk on Monday.
Yeah.
Can we start and just start with the staff report? I say yes. Okay.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
back on the record. It is 9:17. The applicant is on his way, and, I'm gonna turn this over at this time. No, let's swear in Julie-Ann, and then we'll swear in, John and, James when, he gets in. Yeah, okay.
Julianne Shaw, Tricia Nilsson, do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
All right, at this time, we'll turn it over to Julianne for a staff report.
Thank you, Chairman. In March of 2020.
One second. I have got to do a better job today. I'm sorry. Conflict of interest. Before we begin taking testimony, is there any member of the board who, for any reason of conflict of interest, requests to be excused from participating in this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair, no.
No.
I'm a no as well. Are there any declarations pertaining to this requested meeting, such as a site review or conversations outside of the hearing?
Thank you, Madam Chair, no.
No.
And I'm a no. Thank you, and I'm sorry. Please carry on.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. In March of 2020, Molly Rising requested a director's review and approval of a home business located at, well, I remember now, 47205 Windsetter Lane. Property owners within 300 feet were notified of the request for home business, and it was approved on April 21st by the director. For home business for hot yoga at 27205. On May 1st of 2020, we received an appeal of the director's decision within the time frame that is required from John Carpenter, citing access, number of sessions per day, and enforcement. How will we enforce whether or not the home business would meet criteria that we have set? In that appeal, the board heard the appeal and required staff to measure the home, find out more information on when the houses were put in, who was responsible for making the road improvement. So we did that, we presented that back to the board again, and then So this is the approval of Holly's request, an appeal of director's. This is the research into the road and the criteria of access. From the request for the board to have the applicant and the associated parties mitigate, they did so and came forward with an agreement for the new road, which is what this shows. So in that, we have a recommendation that brings in some of the criteria and also outlines conditions of approval or conditions of recommending denial of the appeal. So the project shall comply with all applicable federal, state, and county laws and rules. Home business shall be operated consistent with Chapter 7, Article 14, subsection 11, the Canyon County zoning ordinance. The new access shall meet Canyon County zoning ordinance for private road and driveway requirements. They plan to do a reduction of easement and go to our office. Yoga sessions shall be held between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. 7 days a week on completion of the new access. A maximum of 4 yoga sessions can be held per day, Monday through Friday, and 2 yoga sessions per day on the weekend. No carpooling by yoga students will be required once the new access is completed. Private driveways shall measure 12 feet and improvement units located within a 30-foot wide easement and contain 2 10-foot by 30-foot turnouts. Parma Rural Fire Protection District requires all access to be kept clear for emergency vehicles at all times. Use of the wing setter access is permitted while the new access is being constructed. The interim period conditions are as follows. The maximum number of students for any given yoga class is 4 students. It is agreed that if any yoga class has 3 or more students attending, the business owner will notify her students that they must carpool to class. If 2 or fewer students are attending class, carpooling is unnecessary. During the interim period, an agreement to limit yoga classes on weekends, 2 sessions beginning after 8 a.m. and ending by 5:30 p.m. on weekends. The yoga studio may hold 2 sessions each day between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. These are the conditions that have been agreed to by the participants, and I will stand for any questions.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Van Beek?
I have 3 questions. And the first one, I'll give them to you one at a time. When that termination of wing setter right there, it just means that that's far enough past Mr. Carpenter's house that they can access the remaining portion north of that driveway. Is that right?
Correct, and as I talked to James Cook from a rural fire district, he said that at that point, it will be a continuous from French Road, so he wouldn't have a problem stopping.
Okay, and then my second question, there was some discussion in the original hearing about who would pay for the new access if that was approved. So that's not listed in the stipulations, and then there's also not a time period that's defined as the interim period. So who's paying and how long is the interim period? 2 questions.
The first question I'll answer by saying that the mitigation was the vehicle that outlines that and defines who will pay what and when. It's not a part of this record. It should not be. So I have no idea who's paying. The second aspect of it, it would be a good idea to see if they could possibly do a time frame. I agree. And that is, maybe that road should be completed in 2 years, a year, 6 months.
Commissioner White?
Julianne, the additional, it's just a driveway, or we've heard both the driveway or the new road. Wing setter is going to remain, but is the new road going to be named something different, or is the new road only a driveway?
It is complete driveway.
Complete driveway. Okay,
yes,
thank you.
I apologize for referring to it as a road. It's not.
Okay.
It is a driveway.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any additional questions for staff?
Not at this time, thank you.
At this time, we would like to swear in the applicant and James Jolly, who's listed as the opposition. So John Carpenter and James Jolly.
You swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God.
I do.
Awesome. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Carpenter.
Sorry for being late. I had it on my calendar for 9:30 for some oddball reason.
All right. It is your time for 10 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome.
John Carpenter. I'm at 27130 Wing Setter Lane, Parma. I don't know if I need to go back through all the history on this thing. The last time we sat here, there was a recommendation for mediation, and we went through mediation and we came to a conclusion on it. Today, the point is to pull the appeal because we've come to an agreement on it. Essentially, is where we're at. To answer some of the questions, it is a driveway. Mr. Jolly would prefer a road just to name it, but it's for two houses. I really don't care either way. If it has a name or it doesn't, that would be up to you guys. In as much as the road width it's a 12-foot wide drive or road, but it's 12 feet. Julianne, can you go to your conditions for me? Item number...
Yeah, sorry, 7. So, 6. The
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
shall measure 12 feet.
Yeah. Where it says located within a 30-foot wide easement, that should be 28 foot.
No, the fire department limits.
And I think we can address the fire department. It's a 12-foot drive. So if you take 28 feet, subtract 12, there's still ample room in there for it. Canyon County Code says 28 feet.
The fire department.
So I would just say have this comply with the fire department. We'll get Mr. Cook to change that. And it's not really a huge deal other than we've already executed an agreement between ourselves. You know, we've always stated 28 feet, and that's, Jim and I have an easement agreement. It says 28 feet. I just don't want to go back with the attorneys and change it. Yeah, so.
Commissioner Van Beek?
I just wanted to ask, I apologize for interrupting, did you say there would be a request for a reduction in the easement, or did I not hear that correctly?
Yes, no, that would be correct. The applicant of the whole business will need to request a reduction.
Is that stipulated, the width of that? Is that?
Yes.
There, okay, so.
Which is for the easement, not for the development.
Is there a potential for this to become a public road in the future? Does that allow for that if there's additional development? No, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and as far as the cost of the improvements out there are obviously the road, there's some irrigation work, there's some fencing. We're both paying for a portion of it. Jim and I are meeting with the contractor this afternoon to kind of get the ball rolling is where we're at on it.
Okay.
So we don't know the exact cost. It's, somewhere around 40. The agreement that we have is C-SPAN for 22.5. So we're both participating in it. We're both kind of going into it blindly, not knowing what that exact cost up is, just to get it done. Julianne, can you go to the aerial picture for me? There was a question about that terminate wing setter here, but the road's not going to do it a U. The road's going to stop right there where it says that. That was the whole point of saying terminate wing setter here. The idea is, with the business, we don't want trips, people driving past us. If that's not terminated, people can go either way. So the whole point is wing setter's going to end there. And then there's another driveway, so both parties have their own access to it. That's the whole point of those separate.
Madam Chair, Senator Van Beek, I'm going to state that differently. It's one way in and one way out, the same way.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Additional question?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner White.
There's nothing that says it has to be named but you aren't opposed to that? Having them name that. I'm just wondering they cannot name it? Oh.
We don't want to go there.
Well, I just think that never mind.
Like how the people will know to find the road?
It could be seconds or something in an emergency in timing and that sort of thing. And if it's a stroke or something like that, seconds and minutes do really make a difference, huge. So I'm just wondering why they can't. If they're going to terminate, are you going to terminate wing setter, John?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just think for me, I don't know what the laws are But to have that road named with that house being up there, past that, up in the back. So is there a law?
Yeah, Madam Chair, first of all, it's the driveway. We only require a named private road when there's more than two occupied structures. So we have two, we have their home and the secondary residence that meets the driveway standard. So we're not in the practice of naming driveways because that's also the post office. It really hasn't been determined to be necessary. Wing Center, for example, only had two. We have no records of how it got named however many years ago. Neither does the folks who live there, but it kind of causes a problem because we just get extra road names out there, no record of how they came to be. So we only name when we approve a private road, and then it's named, and then the properties are addressed to that road at that time. The naming part is easy, I guess. It's the addressing and maintaining the address, and that is we only do when it's required. You know,
Okay.
the board's prerogative to change the ordinance, but it would be.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
Lots of street signs up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, once it's more than two, then yeah, they have to get approval for a private road and name it with a sign up. Everybody gets an address and all that.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, will the address change for, either of the homes?
Mr. Jolly's, that dwelling and the secondary will have to be readdressed to French. Yeah.
Okay. Madam Chair.
Yes.
Van Beek?
Thank you for the clarification on that and the difference between a private road and a driveway. I support leaving the ordinance the way that it is. But I wanted to ask Mr. Carpenter, there's no opposition to an emergency vehicle coming down Wing Center if it's necessary, correct?
Yeah, there's going to be a terminus there. You're not going to be able to drive through there.
Gotcha, okay. And so are you going to put some kind of a blockade there?
There'll be if you look at it, there's a fence on the east side and a fence on the west. The fence is going to carry on through.
Thank you for clarifying what terminate means. It doesn't mean that they simply have to follow the rules. There really is no way to get through there.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the other thing I was going to say is, as far as the timeline, we have agreement amongst ourselves to get it done in a year, unless there's something unforeseen. We're going to get this done as quickly as possible. So Jim's already started working on some of the stuff on his side. I've started working on some of the stuff on my side. We're not going to delay it, but our agreement we have between us is a year.
Okay, and that's going to be a filed document with the courts on your mediation that will be enforceable. So I appreciate you clarifying that, even though you didn't have to. Yeah. Madam Chair?
Yes.
I have just one more question, and it does have to do with Commissioner White's concern. I am for the ordinance the way that it is, but it does raise a question where that's blocked off. If there's an emergency vehicle request, how they access that property if they can't get through on a named road.
Well, their address would be off of French.
Yeah, it'd be no different than anyone else that has a private driveway with a new address.
So French Road runs east and west, and so it's just going to be an extension of that.
Then I'm gonna, there's some sidebar discussion, and Julianne has a report.
I do, Chairman. Thank you. So Parma Rural Part of Protection District has required and requested that neither of the accesses be blocked for emergency vehicles to access all homes. Julian, can you put that brief exhibit on the record?
Madam Chair,
Let's look at this first, and then,
What number is the exhibit? Please exhibit 3 of.
Is that a part of our packet? And that's what you emailed last time, Julianne?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. It's loading.
You have a page number reference, it's on the final addendum, is that correct?
Yeah.
That's the 66-page document at the very end,
Yes, correct.
late Exhibit A. Okay, thank you.
It's awesome now. So James Cook worked with both applicant and appellant to come up with this answer.
Can you scroll down a little bit so I can read that?
I think you just try to catch up. Yep, there's.
Then Julie, I'll make sure you speak loud so that the record picks you up well. I don't think that it is.
Okay. So to repeat, we received the comments from Farmer Rural Fire Protection District yesterday and sent it out to you guys as Exhibit 8. They have met with both parties involved, the appellant and the applicant district, and the parties agreed to an additional 12-foot drive on the west side of the property that is accessed off of French Road. The fire district is requiring 2 10-foot by 30-foot turnouts that are shown on the plan and a minimum of a 12-foot approved driving surface. The department also requires the wing center lane access to still be accessible for emergency. The department requires that neither access be blocked or create delays for emergency vehicles to access all homes on wing center lane.
I will say that one person could interpret that the Jolly home will no longer be on Linstetter Lane. Commissioner White? What's your question?
I'm good.
You're good?
Can I speak to that?
Yes.
Well, one of the problems we've had on cases like this is we're getting this stuff last night. Jim and I both went and met with Mr. Cook, and I provided him an exhibit that clearly showed termination right there. Had we had this letter a few days ago, we could have gone back and revisited the subject, but it's not clear in that statement there. It is kind of a big deal. What I would suggest in the conditions simply state that we will comply with the fire district and we'll figure it out on our own. If he really wants connection, we have to do crash gates or whatever. I mean, the intent is just to limit the people driving down through there. I think we can work with Mr. Cook. Can you go back to your conditions? Which one talks about the fire, Julianne?
Where it starts private driveways shall measure 12 feet in improvement and prior to that.
All access to be kept clear for, yeah, I would just change that to state comply with fire district requirements. And then we'll get him to modify that letter.
And I apologize for not having the letter sooner. When I get things.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ramsey?
I have a question, and it's an ordinance question. We had property that was on the border between Canyon and Gem counties, and it was my understanding that if we had a directional change, and that's also been true off of Middleton Road, that the road had to be renamed. I know this isn't a road, but again, I'm trying to just make sure that we're clear. And it's because it's a perpendicular line to French Road that it takes off and heads north. Does that comply with the Canyon County ordinance? It does.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would add, I do think that there's an important piece of keeping the access open for a period of time. I live on a road that's very similar to this, and it took over, and I'm not kidding, over 1 year for all of the different services to identify the new drive location. So I do think that there's a period of time that should be maintained for emergencies. I don't think Mr. Carpenter wants them to have an emergency that someone can't get to either. So having a period of time is important, but at about 18 months, all maps including our, postal carriers, will have the updates. Thankfully, the GIS, departments for our emergency services does get updated, fairly frequently, and so those addresses for emergency services is different than general service to the home or private service.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. So the post office will have it, 911 will have it. It shouldn't be a problem because of the renaming.
Right.
Yes.
Should was the key word.
Okay.
Okay. Are we good? The main thing to consider at this point, well, no, not yet. Let's move on. Do you have any additional testimony?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess the highlights change 30 feet easement to 28 and get rid of that connection. And I agree about even leaving it open for a bit. I mean, it's just general practice that people are used to. It's going to take a little time to get people, used to it.
All right. I'll need you to allow the Jollies to come to the front for their testimony. And seeing that you are the representative for the opposition, you'll also have 10 minutes of testimony if you need it.
I don't need it.
And name and address for the record.
James Jolly, 27205 Center Lane.
Thank you. It's your time.
Well, I mean, I'm in agreement with everything. It's important to me that Pharma Fire is on board with whatever, happens. So that's kind of a deal breaker for me if they, don't want to have it terminated. And, I don't know why we couldn't do a gate or something like that, but a lock gate, have one of those fire boxes that we access it if necessary. But whatever they're okay with, I'm fine with. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Other than that, I think everything's been resolved.
Okay, so would you be agreeable to a condition that states driveway and access requirements that comply with the fire department?
Anything that Parma's Fire is okay with, I will agree to. If they will let us terminate it, that's fine. But as long as they're okay with it.
Tricia, do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, I would recommend we amend the wording of condition 6, just say the driveway shall meet county standards and be approved by the Parma Rural Fire Protection District.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion?
No.
All right.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Van Beek?
I have a question, given Mr. Carpenter's testimony and Mr. Jolly's testimony. We have a recommendation for a motion to deny, but is it deny or vacate, given that they no longer are in disagreement?
It's to deny the appeal and uphold the director's decision with modified conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And Holly, you have a question?
I have a question, yes. When does the interim period actually start? Is that after today? Or when the driveway?
So, yeah, that's a good question, and especially like when does the
start?
And identifying how soon the driveway needs to be constructed, probably an important condition.
Well, I'm just curious about the interim period. What is the definition of interim period? Because that changes when I can teach classes, because currently I don't teach any on the weekends.
Hold on one second. For the record, will you be sworn in and then?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay, and then come up to the thing and
Yes.
start your testimony again?
Did I not check the box?
Nope, and I'm gonna check it for you.
Sorry about that.
So, Holly?
Yes.
Only rising, do you
Yes.
swear or from the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Yes, good.
All right, you have 3 minutes. Start from the top.
So yeah, the question I had was if you could please define what interim period means.
Okay? And then you were gonna give testimony about the classes, how that impacts you.
Yeah, it just, I'll have my glasses on. I believe it talks about weekends, and then weekends that state that I may hold 2 sessions each day. I'm interpreting that as Saturday, Sunday, weekends between 9 a.m. and 2. Not that I really want to teach on a Sunday, however, if I have that option, so does interim mean after today? Or is interim mean when construction starts? So if you could just clarify what the interim period is.
Director Nelson, as condition number 7 states, the use of the Wing Center access is permitted while the new access is being constructed in our period. So it's period that the new access is being constructed.
Okay, so until the driveway is completed and they switch to the new driveway, they have to follow those 3 additional conditions. Correct?
Which, yes, I understand.
Okay.
But if you could just clarify what the interim period is.
It's until you switch to the new driveway.
Okay, so starting today.
Starting today. Until you complete the new driveway.
That's what I need to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. If there's no additional questions, I would take a motion to close public testimony.
Madam Chair, I move we close public testimony.
Second.
All those in favor to close public testimony, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. There were late exhibits provided today. Does anyone have any objection to any of the late exhibits before we enter them into the record?
No.
Okay, let the record show that those exhibits have been entered. And at this time, based on the staff report, testimony, and exhibits we've received, does the board have any changes that would like to make to the recommended findings, conclusions, and order? Or any changes to the conditions of approval?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Van Beek?
And I don't know if we just need to create the official record, but on condition 7, the recommendation of the director was to reword that to state that it meets county standards and is approved by the Parma Fire District. So there's that, and I guess that's condition 6.
Okay.
There's that.
Any additional changes?
And do we need to clarify any further about what the interim period is, defining it as today and the continued construction period within a 1-year time period? Is that...
Say that question again.
On the interim period, there was a question asking for clarification. I don't know if we need to define that it starts today and it continues through the construction period, I guess, up until 1 year as per their mediated agreement.
We can also leave it vague because she's very limited in the amount of classes she's allowed to have. So that's kind of the carrot to complete the driveway as fast as possible so she can expand and use the business permit to the fullest extent.
And I'm okay with that argument. That works.
And so the conditions of approval that are outlined in the staff report are more clear than what's being shown on this. So are we looking at the conditions? Should we be looking at the conditions on the screen, or should we be considering the conditions in addendum 2? Which condition 6 needs modified because they're different. Okay, so condition 6 per the addendum 2 will state the private driveway shall meet Canyon County zoning ordinance standards
And be approved by.
and be approved by Parma Rural Fire District.
Right.
Okay, and then it's condition number 7. Go away then? The private driveway shall meet private or Parma Rural Fire? Because then, are we saying that in number 6? Addendum 2 is what, Monica gave you in yellow, I believe.
Madam Chair, which subsection are you looking at on number 7 that references fire?
I'm on page 2 of the second addendum staff report.
Let's count, yeah.
Conditions of director's approval of home business, AD 2020-0029. Condition 6 talks about the private driveway measured as 12 feet with a 30-foot wide easement.
Yes.
So that one we'll reword to meet Canyon County zoning ordinance for standards. And then number 7 should be say, the private driveway shall meet Parma Rural Fire District requirements.
I think I know what's happening. I think you, Julianne, sent a final addendum, and then Commissioner Van Beek had requested
Highlight.
the highlight. That's what I printed. I don't know.
I don't see that either.
That's different.
So what,
No, the fact is, it's not in seven.
this is what mine looks like, Madam Chair.
She's looking at what Julianne emailed. This is what Commissioner Van Beek.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, so you're looking at a Word doc, so she changed it. So the PDF that's on the record is better than what you're looking at, in my opinion. You should go back to.
And I'm trying to locate that document because I thought our final addendum was what had the yellow highlighting, so I apologize. I'm trying to
If you
locate.
go also on the board calendar for our packet. And open the PDF. Nope. Back to your calendar.
Julianne, is the one you sent over to me?
Nope.
This is not it. This is today. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
If you don't mind just emailing that to me.
And then, that staff report, addendum 2. And then page 2.
Oh,
You want to see?
We're gonna put it on the screen.
Okay.
We're on.
I can help you scroll through there.
Okay. And if once we finalize the conditions, we'll have to bring back a final copy.
Okay. So you're showing what you would like the proposed conditions to be.
Well, it's going to be.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I can put a date. Number 6 is changed. Oh, I see that. I have just changed it.
So actually, we don't even need to say,
You can't edit them?
okay, number 6 doesn't even need to be there except for the fire department because number 3 already cites the code.
So we'll cross
then-
out after requires and the rest.
Yeah. And then your original language that I think you deleted regarding complying with the fire department is all you need.
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
Madam Chair,
yes, Commissioner White.
I just want to put on the record that I believe the applicant wants wing setter vacated at that spot. You want that to be the end of the way.
Yep.
Okay. And I know it's a driveway, but I I'm just speaking for District 3, okay? I think that it could be easily an issue of confusion in an emergency. And with what we're doing and different things like that, it's a huge liability I feel, for both of you somewhat. And so somehow or another, that's got to be taken care of for me. However, you can do it with, the agencies and both you can come together and figure it out. You've done an excellent job, and I'm very, very grateful, and I'm really, really glad that you came together on this, and you do have resolution. But that part of it, I don't live out there or anything, but I can see the confusion in that being French and yours being wing setter. So I would just urge you to please get that one figured out so that there is to avoid future problems with that and liabilities. Okay, thank you.
Are you ready for a motion?
Yes, please.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Van Beek?
I move that we deny the appeal of the director's decision and approve the modified conditions as presented for final review by the board for case number AD 2020-0029 APL.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to uphold the director's decision and deny the appeal with the modified conditions. Director Nelson, are we missing anything for further discussion that you'd like added?
I'm not sure if we can get, just to confirm the changes to proposed condition number 6.
Yes, so
Just 6, okay.
To leave 7 in place and have 6 reflect meet county standards approved by the Parma Fire District.
Yeah.
Then I'll include that as part of my motion.
Yeah.
Okay. No, second that.
all right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And we will bring this back for signing on
Monday, March 15th at 10:15.
Monday, March 15th at 10:15. You do not need to be present for that unless you'd like to. It'll be pretty administrative. So, that concludes this hearing, and thank you for coming. Thank you for working so hard to complete this.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Will do.
I feel like I should come try hot yoga.
Come on out. You have to carpool.
It'll be 4 because